Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chicago White Sox Franchise, and today we've got the offseason. And I don't know how this is going to go, to be completely honest. I remember that they made a lot of changes to how free agency works, how you sign new players, and I remember not liking it when they were talking about it. But I'll be honest, I haven't played it for myself. I haven't gone through any offseason on my own, so I don't really remember why I didn't like the changes that they made. So I guess we'll just rediscover together. But our first year was another 100-loss season. We went 58 and 104, but that record does do something for us today. The rule from episode 1 was every win we got over 41 wins, which is what the 2024 White Sox got, the horrible season. Every win over that would be worth $1 million that we could put towards a contract, and that would be added on top of $75 million, which is the largest contract in White Sox history. So by improving our record by 17 wins, that adds $17 million to what we can offer to somebody on top of the $75 million. So that means our maximum offer today is $92 million. So let's make this official and cross into the offseason before I start talking about the plan I have. And I guess, yeah, that's the first big thing. And I don't plan on rehiring Will Venable because they gave him a really bad attribute grade. I think he was giving us negative to everything, which is a shame. I like Will in real life. All right, retired players though. I don't think if we had someone retire any big ones though. Scherzer's done. He got down to a 62 overall. Justin Verlander's done. Those seem like the big ones. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not really going to go through all these free agents here. We'll move on. We should see Hall of Fame next. Scherzer gets in, no Verlander? That's wrong. So a couple things I want to talk about planning wise, and I guess the big one's right here front and center, but I do want to trade Luis Robert Jr. And it's funny because the day I'm recording this, he literally just got traded in real life last night. But real quick thoughts on that. I don't know if I like it. I don't feel like it makes a ton of sense for what the real life White Sox got back. I personally was intrigued to see what Robert did because he was actually putting up good numbers after the All-Star break once the White Sox team was starting to look set. I was intrigued to see what he could do, and I personally thought if he had a good first half, his trade value would have gone way up because he's that type of player that if he's playing at the top of his game, he's very valuable. But bringing things back to this franchise mode, I don't really think Robert has that much value. He was horrible. He was healthy, but he was horrible. He had a worse season by every metric than he had the year before. But the biggest thing that I feel like separates my idea to trade him from the real life White Sox idea to trade him is one of the trades we made during last trade deadline was I got Garrett Mitchell and he played really well for me. And that makes me want to go ahead and move on from Robert now while he's got 2 more years left under contract. I think there's a chance we get something good for him. Actually, let's just see right here. If I suggest trades right now. No, okay. No trades were found. So yeah, we'll hold up on that until a little bit into the offseason. Now, a couple of other things that I want to do. Andrew Vaughn is heading into his final year of arbitration this year. I don't plan on bringing him back. I plan on not offering him a contract. I plan on non-tendering him. But one thing I want to do here before we get into things is I want to change some positions around to what I plan on having them be for next season, just so we can get a lay of the land. So the plan is to have Samuel Basallo play first base. I'm going to make his primary position first base. I guess it already has a secondary as catcher / first, so with the primary is first, the secondary will still be catcher. Anyway though, with the way that overalls are balanced, that makes him an 83 now. Nothing about his attributes change. This one's pretty minor, but I plan on Trevor Stephan to be the closer for next season, so I'm just going to officially make him a closing pitcher. That actually bumps his overall up too. I don't really understand that, but I think the same thing happened with Ellard when I made him a closer last year, but I'm going to move him back to relief pitcher. And then the last position change that I want to make is I want Mike Vasil to be a starting pitcher next season. He definitely has the skill set to be a starter with 75 stamina. And again, his attributes aren't going to change, but his overall is going to go way up. I know when I did this with Mike Clevenger last season, I think his overall went from a 67, 68 overall. It went up to a 75, I think. So Mike Vasil, if we change his position here, he might become our best starter on the team. So let's see what happens when we do that. He's a 71 now. Change his primary position to starter, and he becomes an 80. my plan for what I'm looking for signing wise, I want to sign a third baseman / shortstop. I think we're also going to need to sign at least one outfielder, maybe two, especially if we're trading away Robert. And then on the pitching end, I want to sign a starting pitcher with high stamina who can eat some innings. I also think we're going to need a left-handed relief pitcher. I do think we're going to need some catcher depth in the organization because we're going to have Teal and Caro in the big leagues. Depending on how we do it, Teal could also end up being one of those outfielders I was talking about us needing. And if that's the case, Corey Lee would also be in the big leagues, and then that just leaves, I mean, Grandal would be gone. That just leaves two catchers in the organization. Let's look at some coaching options, though, because I think the rest of our coaching, the rest of our coaching staff is fine. I mean, it's all actually A's except for Ethan Katz. I mean, I could just go for this big guy, the number one here, A grade, plus 3 contact, plus 2 power. I mean, that's like the main 2 hitting attributes right there, and those are very nice boosts. I might just, like, let's spend some of Jerry's money here, man. I think I'm gonna offer this guy, man. Why not? It says there our total payroll before this is only $30.3 million. Like, we've got money to spend. So let's just do this. I'll offer him the 4 years. I'll give him exactly what he wants money wise. We'll see if he's interested. He's only half interested. I mean, we don't have any exclusive negotiations to do. We only had 1 coaching vacancy, and I already started that process. So yeah, I think we can start simming here. Oh, he accepted immediately? Paul Jimsey. That's what we're going with, the pronunciation. He wanted this job. He saw the potential. Look at that, dude. I was not expecting that. He only had half interest. I thought if anything, it would take a little while. I'm kind of pumped up about that, man. All right, now things have opened up. It's time. We got arbitration to handle. We've got contract renewals to handle, free agency to handle, and selecting the 40-man roster, which honestly, if these are the best players we could lose in the Rule 5 draft right now, I don't even know if I'm going to add anybody to the 40-man. I think I'm going to try and go through this arbitration stuff first. I'll be totally honest. I have never known, and I still don't know what really to offer these players in arbitration. Maybe I inform what I offer based on this. So let's go in here first. 1 year, Garrett Mitchell will be looking for 5.8 mil. Is that a little high? I kind of thought year 1 of arbitration was normally not that expensive, especially for guys that aren't like superstars yet. It would maybe be a little nice if the game helped you out a little bit with this, like give you a recommended range or something like that. I don't know. I'm just gonna submit the 2.5 million arbitration offer. I see, like, the thing I also don't want to do is overpay. Like, I don't know what he's gonna submit, but if he submits $2 million and I'm sitting here submitting 2.5, we could have just gotten him for $2 million in arbitration. So I don't know. We're just gonna do this. It's only 500K. Vargas would only want 1.5 mil a year, or that's what it says he's looking for. So I guess that probably means I can get away with offering him arbitration for a little less. So we'll just offer straight up 1 mil for arbitration. But yeah, no, like I said, Vaughn, I think I'm just gonna let go. I mean, yeah, previous salary was 5.8 in arbitration. I don't know if I would have to offer him more or if it'd be about the same since he was bad. He would want 5.8 if I was just gonna sign him for a year. So yeah, to me, it doesn't make sense to bring back a guy who now doesn't have a spot to play. I don't really think I see the need to offer arbitration to any of these other guys. Maybe we'll come back to that when we see what the free agent market's looking like. But now we got all these to handle. And oh, you can just straight up renew the contract now? That's so much simpler. I guess I can just renew him right here and take him off the board, right? Yeah, all right. So that's handled. All right, then. Well, I'm just going to go through this whole list and probably just renew just about everybody. All right. Well, I didn't just straight up renew every single player. These top 3, I didn't renew just because I don't know what the plan is for them in terms of being MLB players. I know I have to do something by a certain day or else I'll lose them, so I'll make sure I do that. Don't worry. The rest of these guys aren't renewed just because I don't know if I want to bring them back. I will come back to some of those things just to make sure, but I want to get a better lay of the land for what our free agent class might look like before I do that. So all right, here we go. The new free agent screen, new to me. Looks like we have $78.3 million available to spend, it says. We could probably fill out these positional and team needs once we know who we're actually targeting. So let's see who's out there. Who makes sense? I mean, starting pitcher wise, I probably don't necessarily want to look at the top end just because I would imagine we can't really afford. I mean, technically we could afford Framber. Ranger Suarez would be, well, actually, I think we just learned today. He actually pronounces it Ranher. I'm too ingrained brained and saying Ranger though. But 4 years, 18.4 mil, that comes under, right? Because that'd be, I mean, 4 years, 20 would be 80, and 80's within our budget. Yeah, Suarez definitely could be one we come back to. All right, relief pitcher wise, I mean, Matt Strom. I said we needed a lefty. I mean, the top 3 are all lefties here. Gregory Soto, Caleb Ferguson could both also be interesting. We were looking for third base / short. Ooh, Eugenio Suarez is only asking for 2 years, 14.2 million a year. That is within our budget. Shortstop, I mean, Bo Bichette would be interesting. I mean, obviously that right there is too much as a total deal, but like if we knocked it down to 4 years, bump the money up a little bit, maybe he'd be interested. That would be interesting. Speaking of, what about outfield options? I mean, Schwarber was somebody that a lot of maybe overly optimistic White Sox fans were hoping that the Sox would go after in real life. This is much more viable though. 2 years, 15 mil a year. He's Schwarber. He's got the high discipline I was looking for. Obviously crazy power. Contact should be fine. 37 homers last year, 246 average, 361 on base. I would take that. I think I'm gonna put Schwarber as my #1 priority. And I might just go with the big ones too. I might put Bichette as my #2 priority. He'd have to be pretty interested though, because we would have to take that money down. I can't give him 20 mil over 5 years. We'd have to take the years down probably. And then we're just gonna go for it. Well, I was gonna go Suarez. Would Framber make more sense? I'm still gonna add, I think I'm gonna go Suarez. So then having them all on the board, I mean, we gotta find out their baseline interest, but we'll get plus 654%. And I do think this is the order I want the priorities to go in. So we'll see. Okay, I guess also I didn't scroll down far enough, but our team quality being long shots affects Suarez and it affects Bichette. They both have motivation decreases. Schwarber doesn't seem to care though. So we'll just see. I'll have it like this. I'll have it set up for this first week or however this works. So I guess I can start simming. I guess I gotta sim a whole week before, okay. We have 97 players in our organization. We got to do this now? Really? We have to fix that now? I mean, how does that make sense? Because like Vaughn's still on our roster, but if I'm planning on getting rid of him, if I'm planning on non-tendering him, like that's gonna be an open roster spot once that happens. So why isn't it an open roster spot now? I guess maybe because of the team control thing. Like I found out I could trade him. I mean, again, trading him doesn't really do much because that doesn't get rid of a roster spot. I mean, who was it? I could release like a Dan Altavilla. Renewable guys, I could just get rid of Heasley and Schultens. I mean, should I just do that? Should I just go through all these guys that I wasn't sure if I wanted to renew on the lower end just because I didn't know if I actually wanted them? I could just like release them now. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and do that because we gotta free up some spots. So Heasley, don't need him. I guess I just release him. Okay, same with Schultens, released. I'm gonna do Altavilla instead of Varland. I'll leave Varland for now just because I guess he's younger and a little bit better, but I don't know, I'd probably end up getting rid of Varland too, but we'll make sure we release Dan first. This Lipschitz dude was another one. We've got a ton of third basemen. I'm also gonna get rid of Jordan Sprinkle. I did renew him. It just wasn't really one I paid attention to, but we've got 9 shortstops. That's by far the most of position players, so we can spare one of those too. And he's a deep potential. He's like 25. He's not going to do anything for me. So we'll release Jordan Sprinkle. I mean, that does cost us a little bit of money technically since I did renew him, but it's not much. But there, at least now, for now, we have 1 extra roster spot available, and then we'll see what happens from here on out. And yeah, today's the day to offer contracts to free agents. So let's see, after a week, what do we have? A rival opportunity. The Cubs are trying to sign Dylan Cease. That's like real life. I had no intention of getting Cease back, and he's too much for me anyway, so we can just hit not interested there. That doesn't look good. Schwarber has the highest motivation to sign with us at 29%, Bichette and Suarez at 15. It's probably, or Bichette's at 16, Suarez is at 15. It's probably not even worth pursuing either of them. It might not even be worth pursuing Schwarber because you have to get up to 50% to even unlock the ability to put in an offer. So yeah, I think we'll just drop Bichette and Suarez. Probably not going to happen with them too. We'll keep Schwarber for like now. Man, I just feel like some of these pitchers pitchers are just like, you look at Zach Eflin here, and he's only 52 hits per 9, 61 Ks per 9. He had almost a 5 ERA last year, and he's like top 5 starting pitcher free agent. He wants over $20 million a year for that. You know what I am going to do for sure, though, is I'm going to add Caleb Ferguson, because he's definitely one that I know that I'm interested in. We need a lefty. And then, I mean, who else was there? Suarez, I was kind of interested in. Yeah, again, also looking at the rest of the outfield options, there is really like nobody I'm actually interested in. The only one I'm really even slightly intrigued by is Lane Thomas, and he's asking for Benintendi money, which is reasonable, but it's also not like he's like crazy good. He's another low vision guy. So I don't know, right now for this third spot, it's kind of Lane Thomas or Framber. I'll just put Framber on the list first. Gauge his interest first. When did it get so dark behind me? I'm just now realizing that. Also, Framber's decreased motivation for us being long shots. So is Ferguson. So what that meant for the last two guys, I don't have a ton of faith that they're going to have high interest this go around. But yeah, we're sticking with Schwarber as number 1. He still only gets plus 6% a week, and he needs to get all the way up to 50. We're going to lock this one in, though, and I guess continue to sim. Okay, by the 20th, we need to make sure our 40-man is set, but we don't really have anybody good enough probably to even get picked, but even if they did get picked, it wouldn't be like I'd be losing out on somebody big. So that's okay. We don't need to worry about that. We can sim the next week, see if anything happens. Nothing. Oh, one thing happened. Matt Strahm signs a 2-year, $19.9 million deal. So that was potentially a guy I could have been interested in. Oh, another one, Helsley signs. So why are they signing then? Why aren't they signing when we can do anything about this? I think that's kind of what I don't like about this new system. It's like you're locked into only doing something once a week. Okay, Ferguson, 34% interested, but that's doable. Framber's at 6. He does not want to sign with us, so we can drop him too. Also should probably look into potentially trading Vaughn, maybe do the Robert trade at some point here soon too. I mean, what happens? Last time I did this, no trades popped up. There are some trades now that pop up for Robert. I also should actually find out what sort of trade or what sort of return I want for him. It's like, I don't even know. Do I want more prospect guys? Do I want guys that could play right now? Because that's also a thing. If there's some spots like a starter, which I don't really know if I would be good filling with what's available in free agency, maybe I could trade Robert for a good starter, or good enough starter, I should say. Okay, actually, this is kind of funny. I'm on the Mets right now. They won't even do Robert for Acuna straight up. You know what? I kind of don't hate this trade with the Blue Jays for Robert. I could get Bowden Francis, who we would have to figure out renewal arbitration. It looks like he's renewable right now, but he's a 77 overall. He's probably at his potential though, because he did decrease last year, but he's got the high stamina I'm looking for. He's not going to put guys on for free. He's got good clutch, good hits per 9. He might have a bit of a home run problem. He might not really be able to strike people out, but like, he did have a 3.42 ERA last season. He made 22 starts. I could definitely see giving him a spot in the rotation. The other aspect of this trade too is Jared Koenig, which gives us a solid lefty arm out of the bullpen. Jays must have traded for him last year, but he's a 78 overall. He's got good attributes. He's got that good stamina, like better than normal relief pitcher stamina. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like this move, especially with what I was trying to rationalize paying a pitcher who really wouldn't be much better than this is. And Francis has exactly the skill set that I was looking for. Overall, this move saves money because we're getting rid of Robert's contract, which isn't, you know, it isn't crazy. It's only 8.3 mil, but it is still going to save like $7 million. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make this official right here. Luis Robert traded for Bowden Francis and Jared Koenig. I don't know if that's the greatest return, not like super exciting or anything, but with what Luis Robert was, what he turned into, really don't think we were going to get anything really prospect wise for him. Okay, and I was also looking at trades that I could do for Vaughn. Would any of you guys remember this? I'm going to go and actually go to him. But I think it was when I was trading Mike Clevenger to the Rangers. I wanted this Ilorki dude, but they wouldn't do it. I had to settle for somebody a little bit worse. But now they would give me Ilorki for Vaughn. And this is like the exact sort of move that would make sense for Vaughn because we're not going to get much for him. Ilorki, though, the reason I wanted him before is look at his skill set. Definitely rough in the field, very rough in the field, but this is like very similar to what Chase Mydroth is for us right now. Very good contact. The vision discipline, the clutch is at 92. Like purely from a hitting standpoint, he he could almost be major league ready right now. I'm definitely going to make this trade. This is like the perfect trade to move on from Vaughn. Somebody who I was already interested in, who was on my radar before. I'm going to do this straight up. We're going to do it. So that's it. That's the two holdovers from the last era of the White Sox, I guess. Robert and Vaughn, gone. I don't think now I'm going to handle these renewables things. I'm just going to renew Hagen Smith at his low amount. We'll renew Bowden Francis because now we have to do that after getting him. We'll also renew Schultz because I'm like more set now that he's going to stay in the minors. For now, at least. Guess we also got to renew Ilorki now, but that's an easy one. Obviously, we renew him. And you know, it doesn't matter. We'll just renew Montgomery now. We don't have to worry about it then. I'm sure it won't matter if I call them up. It'll either like automatically change their salaries or it won't matter. But looking at what the team looks like, I don't know, it'd really be between if I want to try and go after Suarez, at least see if he's interested, and then also Lane Thomas would still be interesting. I think I'm going to check in on Suarez though first. Let's just see with these high overall dudes. All right, I think I'm gonna make a decision here too on the rest of these arbitration guys. I think I am gonna offer it to Dahlbeck. Just gonna leave it at 800K, but with where our roster is right now, he's really the only decent enough minor league guy who could come up if somebody gets hurt and play around the infield. I'm also gonna try and just like straight up maybe make an offer for, well, how does this make sense? Our roster's currently full. You must release at least one player if we wish to sign a free agent. But Dahlbeck's on the roster. He's accounting for one of those 93 players on the roster. And now we can go back to simulating. I've been recording for over 2 hours already, and I feel like we don't really have much to show for it. We got a last chance opportunity to sign Caleb Ferguson. His motivation didn't go up though, so I don't know how this is gonna work. The 1 year 6.2 mil has him at 34%. See, and this actually is another reason why I didn't like this new arrangement for offering contracts in the offseason. There's only so high you can go. Why shouldn't you be allowed to offer somebody as much money as you want to offer them? Like, if I really wanted to lock up Caleb Ferguson, there really should be no reason why I couldn't offer him $15 million. Well, I wanted to offer him an even 7, but you can only do 7.01. But also doing 6.94 doesn't change the motivation. So I'm going to keep the motivation at 40%. We'll offer him 1 year, $6.94 million. I don't know. I think this will be the first actual contract offer I'm making. Let's see what happens here. He doesn't want to sign with me. All right. So he signed with them for less money per year, but he also signed for an extra year. I guess I could have offered him an extra year too. Why didn't I think of doing that? He's only 29. I could have given him more time. Dylan C signs with the Rangers. Didn't it pop up earlier that like the Cubs were about to sign him? Devin Williams signs with the Braves. Kyle Tucker to the Royals. Almost 30 mil a year over 8 years. $231.2 million for the Royals. He comes to our division. Why would they do that? Oh, and now we've got Eugenio Suarez apparently close to signing, and we didn't even get a chance to have a full week of him finding out what his motivation is. Apparently it's only 24%. Do I want to offer him something? I mean, I'm going to at least try to put in an offer. I mean, bumping it up to 15 mil a year doesn't really do much for the motivation. I wouldn't really want to bump the, now that I'm focused on it, I wouldn't really want to bump the years up anymore. So about $30 million over 2 years. I'm going to offer him 27%. Probably won't get it done, but we'll see. We'll see if he wants to come play on the south side. This didn't pop up before. A phone? Okay, that means we didn't get him. And okay, now Zach Gallen's coming to the division. What's going on here? What's with the AL Central? That was the Tigers too. They stink. They were as bad as we were. Okay, you know what actually I'm gonna do? Since this has taken a lot longer than I expected it to up until this point, I'm not gonna end the video, but I'm gonna stop recording for now, kind of gather my own thoughts, and maybe I'll come back with a bit more of a concrete plan. I don't know. All right, let's get back to this. So I took a little time to reevaluate things, look at the team, look at what I want. If we manage to sign Schwarber, which is still on the table, he'll be the DH no matter what. Like, he will be all-time designated hitter, which would make sure that Chase Meidroth has to play second base. And then the spot I'd like to fill is Vargas, because I don't really want him being an all-time starter like he was last season. I kind of forgot about the Lenyn Sosa aspect, and he is still really solid against left-handed pitching. But Sosa can start start at third against lefties, which kind of just means that all we need is a platoon guy who could start at third or short against righties. And I actually kind of found the perfect option for that. And it's not going to seem like an exciting option. Nobody's going to be hyped about it, but based on his attributes, it legitimately is perfect. So here at left field, if we go down here to some of the non-ranked free agents, we come to Nick Gordon, dude who never panned out, top prospect, all that, or one of the top prospects. He just never panned out. But look at what his skill set is. He's a left-handed bat who can play the infield. He could play short, which would move Montgomery to third against righties. He's got 70 contacts, 71 power against righties. That's good. 68 clutch too is good. He'll be solid in the field. I mean, honestly, like, this is such a White Sox move, but it's so perfect for what we need too. Like, that's really all we need is a platoon situation. So that's the first thing I'm going to do right now is I want to offer a deal to Nick Gordon. I guess, I mean, I haven't even gotten to this screen yet, but I guess he's only looking for 1 year and he is not looking for much money at all. I'm just going to bump it up until 1.2 mil gets the interest as high as it can go. So that's going to be our offer here. 1 year, 1.2 mil for Nick Gordon, and that should fill the infield vacancy that I thought we had. Oh, and that's okay. I didn't know it was instantaneous. So, I mean, man, can we kind of just like plug this in right here? He's not on the big league roster. Okay, never mind. Oh, he's not even on the 40-man roster. We signed him to a minor league deal. I mean, we'll deal with that later, but, or actually, no, we got to deal with that now because he's eligible for the Rule 5 draft. We got to add him. Add him before we lose him to that. Oh, no. Okay, hang on. I would have signed him to a big league contract. Apparently, that wasn't an option, and now he's going to be like, I don't think he would have been in the Rule 5 draft since he was a free agent, but now we could lose him to the Rule 5 draft. That's gonna be real dumb if that happens. All right, well, anyway, so the next thing that I was looking to do, Gregory Soto's still here, and he's still a great option. He's a 78 overall. He's got the 5-pitch mix. He's gonna be added to our board. And then third priority here for this week, another thing that I don't really know how I overlooked, but we were looking at starters, and I know we got Bowden Francis. I was looking at this again, and I kept like skipping over Michael King, and like Michael King is solid, but what he's asking for, 4 years, 23.7 mil, that would be like slightly higher than our $92 million total. So we would have to either bump a year off or manage to bump some salary off. But I'm still at least intrigued to find out what he would say. But we're going to lock in this board for this week. And then a couple more things I do want to make sure to look into, though, is I want to look into some veteran relief pitchers. But there are some veterans that are at or above the same overall that some of these guys are. And if I sign them, it could give us, you know, a slightly better bullpen. It could give us time to keep maybe a Logan Evans or even a Baroa down in the minors for a little bit more. Maybe they progress a little bit. So I want to look into that. We also have to look into getting some catcher depth, but I'm going to wait on that because I think once this December 2nd deadline passes, we're going to see a lot more free agents of people who were just like non-tendered. I also forgot, and I guess I can just go ahead and take care of that now, but I wanted to offer Dahlbeck that 1 year, $950,000 contract. I could do the same thing with Vargas, maybe. I mean, I could offer him like 1.1, 1.2 maybe, because that pushes him a little over halfway interested. I'm going to do that. Again, could save us a couple $100,000 if the panel would have sided with him, which I guess if they do sign that, there'd be no way of knowing. I still don't fully understand how to handle arbitration. But all right, from there, I think we're ready to finally sim past this week of things happening. And look at what the Royals are doing. They're getting another big bat. They signed Kyle Tucker. Don't forget that. Now they're adding Brent Rooker. Oh, and look at this, man. Now or never, last chance for Michael King, but look at his motivation. If he was 50% motivated immediately, we could have been bumping up that motivation. But now, I mean, I'm still gonna offer him something, but we can't offer him what he's looking for. We have to knock it down. I have to do some math here. We can offer him exactly $23 million a year, which of course we can't do. It has to be 22.99, but that gets us, that's exactly 92 million, or technically slightly below $92 million total. So let's see, we've been unlucky with all of these so far. We haven't gotten a single guy to sign with us on this screen. Does Michael King want to be a White Sox? The phone didn't mean good things in the past. Yep, nope. And he signs for 1 less year. Oh, Why didn't I think of that again? All right, well, at least Soto was motivated. We're gonna let those ride. I know I could start offering contracts right now, but honestly, I don't know exactly how that works, and I don't want to offer something and then that like triggers them to immediately sign when our offer isn't as good as it could possibly be. I don't, like I said, I don't know if that's how it works. I haven't done this yet, but I want to look at some of these other things here. Like I said, signing some more veteran relief pitching. Catchers too is another one, and look at this. I mean, this is exactly why I waited. For some reason, B potential 21-year-old Blake Mitchell was non-tendered, so I could sign him. And I don't think, yeah, he wouldn't be Rule 5 eligible. I mean, dude, do I just offer to him right now? I mean, he's a 75 overall. He's like almost, I mean, his attributes are not almost ready to be called up, but overall wise, I mean, this almost feels like cheating. If I can bump this offer to 100K and he becomes fully interested and I could just sign this dude, let's do it. What happens here? Yeah, he'll sign the contract. So look what we just did. We just added a dude who's technically our second highest rated catcher for really nothing. He's a B potential. He's younger than Caro. He's the same overall as Caro. Like I said, we need one more. We need 2 in AAA, 2 in AA. I could just take care of that right now, probably, if that was so easy to do. Like Moises Ballesteros, why is he here? Cubs, what are you doing? You know what? Let's just do this. Stick it to the Cubs. He's max interested at 80K. I'll take him. I don't know. I don't want to really go crazy with that and sign just a bunch of dudes throughout the organization. We had holes to fill at catcher. I needed to do that anyway, so those guys are available. I don't know what I want to do with this third priority spot because I'm still kind of interested in Lane Thomas, because if we get Lane Thomas, then we don't have to have Kyle Teal as an outfielder. But yeah, you know what? Let's at least gauge his interest. We'll leave him on this screen. I don't think there's anything else I want to do right now. And now or never for Lane Thomas. He would have been at 54% motivation. I wonder if the motivation kind of like by default goes up as the offseason gets longer. You know what? We'll put in an offer. You know what I am going to do though? I'm going to knock the years down to 3. I'm going to take 2 years off of what he's asking for, but I'm also going to give him like an extra little over $2 million per year. So let's see if Lane Thomas is the first one that signs with us from this screen. And of course, he'd be the one that I'm like least confident in, I guess. Okay, he doesn't sign with us anyway. He goes to a division rival. Ah, no. And look, now it's this one. Now or never for Kyle Schwarber. I want him though, man. A lot of what I was planning kind of centers around getting him. Obviously, we have the flexibility to offer him. I mean, what's the max we could offer? 18.75 million over these 2 years that he wants. I kind of like the years where they're at. I kind of like the 2 years. I mean, in a way, if he signs this would kind of just be the real life Murakami deal. So this is going to be my final offer. 65% motivation, 2 years, 18.75 mil a year for Kyle Schwarber for 40 home runs. One of these has to go our way, right? Kyle, come to the Southside. Oh my God, why is it red? How many free agents have we missed out on? And what is the contract he signed? What? This is where it makes no sense. This is where this whole system makes no sense. He signs for 1 less year, but also $5 million less per year. Oh, and what's this? I click on free agency, all of a sudden this pops up. The only Asian in the game, the Scott Boris of MLB The Show, Stephanie Saunders. She's telling me that Danny Coulomb is interested in signing with me. I mean, honestly, I'd be up for adding him to the big board. 74 overall, a lefty. You know, we're still targeting Soto, but I wouldn't be opposed to this. He actually, at 35 years old last year, improved. But yeah, I'm on board for that, especially now that we lost out on our big name guys. No Lane Thomas, no Kyle Schwarber. We're kind of like locked in now to not really be able to make any big moves. I mean, at least Jerry's going to be happy because we're not spending any money. All of a sudden, though, that does mean we kind of need another infielder if I don't want Vargas to start, which I don't. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it comes to infielders, legitimately, Bo Bichette might be the only one I'm interested in. Like, Glaber's here, but he's coming off a not-so-good season. I guess Renjifo's not bad, too. He's just kind of rough in the field. Well, I'm at least curious about Bo Bichette again. Okay, actually, no. It puts his motivation here immediately at 20%. It wouldn't do anything to have him on the list. So you know what, then I'm gonna ask about Rengifo. And you know what, I'm intrigued to put in an offer for Danny Coulomb. I just want to do this now just to see how this works when I put in an offer like this. I'm just gonna leave it at this base demand, I guess, of 1 year, 5.3 mil at 66% motivation. Again, I don't know if this means he immediately makes this decision, and if he doesn't want to sign with me, that like automatically prompts him to sign somewhere else. But since he's not like a big priority, may as well test that out here. And if we get him, we get him. And I guess, okay, it doesn't do anything. It just sends him the offer, and I guess he decides on it over the week. That makes sense. So we can go simming again, and I think before the next week of free agency would kick in, we've got the Rule 5 draft, which honestly, depending on who's available in the Rule 5 draft, we might be able to pick up something there. I guess we got to go to the draft lottery first. We've got, well, I guess not the #1 odds, but we had the worst record. So we're tied with the top 3 teams for the best odds at getting the #1 pick. Do we get the same luck that the real life White Sox got? How is this gonna... Oh, no, we don't. The Blue Jays got it. We still get the #2. Oh, Danny Coulomb's deciding. And we got one. It's possible. And, okay, another... How do we keep adding dudes that we're right about to sign and now we get it now or never? Rengifo was at a 51% motivation. I guess let's submit this. 55%. We got to get one of these one time, right? I don't know if the percentage is the percent chance it has of happening, but we can't keep losing coin flips if that is how it works. It's a phone again. The phone hasn't been good. Why? Oh my God, and now they're all flying here. Gregory Soto's got a now or never situation. We gotta get him. We're gonna do this. Exactly 7.5 mil a year over 3 years. One of these has to go our way, right? We've had way too many that haven't. There we go, we got him. We can only sign left-handed relief pitchers. It's about to be Rule 5 draft time though, before we get into the next free agency, I think. Yeah, we gotta go to the Rule 5 draft now. So we're just hoping Nick Gordon doesn't get picked, because that would be giga dumb. But there's also things we could potentially do. We've got the #1 pick. Well, I mean, like right here. We could get a guy like Phil Maton, where we are gonna draft Phil Maton in the Rule 5 draft. I don't see a Nick Gordon. Okay, it looks like we're safe on Nick Gordon for now, at least. And yeah, there's really no one else here that I feel like it'd be worthwhile to take. Yep, so I think we'll just skip this selection and just hope. The game better not have Nick Gordon get picked. And there was still a pick in the 2nd round. Nobody else picked though. And Nick Gordon's safe. Okay, man. And then as soon as I click on free agency, Framber, rival opportunity. He might want to sign with Cleveland. What happens if I add him to my big board? Yeah, his motivation's still nowhere. So we have nobody on the big board now then. And we still have $75 million apparently we could spend. And you know what? Actually, I just had this idea. We are back up over the maximum roster we can have at 94. Instead of just releasing people though, I kind of do the same sort of thing that I did when we got Garrett Mitchell. When we just kind of offloaded some dudes that really weren't planned to be used in the future, but also still could hold some value to other teams. Okay, I'm also learning here. It seems like we could trade arbitration players before, but now that we've gotten to a certain point, that's when they're not able to be dealt, because this pops up for Vargas, this pops up for Gunnar Henderson. And I did find a couple interesting trades, and it's taken me a while to actually decide that this is the one that I want to do, but this is the one that I want to do. We'll give up Jared Schuster, who I again don't really have any plans for the future, and Everson Pereira. I traded for him last year, and I don't really feel any attachment to him. He's not any better than a C potential. He's only a C potential. But we could move those two guys to the Rockies, where both of them feasibly have the runway to get a chance to play. And the Rockies would give us Ryan McMahon. I mean, technically, based on that little meter thing, we're even slightly overpaying in their eyes. We can handle McMahon's salary, though. It's 2 years. He's still got 80 power. He's a good power bat. Like I said, a good disciplined guy, which we need. We also need his glove, because we have a lot of iffy defense all across this team. So to lock up somebody like this who you know is going to get the job done in the field might be nice for the kind of team that we have put together. So let's go ahead and make this official. We got Ryan McMahon. So he'll be plugged in at third base, all-time third baseman versus both sides. It also opens up some interesting things we could do. Like we could just play Nick Gordon at second, or we could play Nick Gordon left, move Benintendi to DH, and then have Mydroth play second. The only thing is we're very, I mean, you can see it right here, we're very lefty heavy, especially against righties, which, you know, you'd want a lot of lefties in when you're facing a righty, but a lot of our better players are lefties that would also be playing against lefties, which I was looking at other trade options, and there is still other trades we can make with other guys who I don't really have future plans to use, but we also wouldn't need to make those trades right now either. Like we could probably wait until we're into next season and then make that deal if we feel the need to. And honestly, man, after making that move, you know, looking at our setup for both lineups, looking at our pitching situation, we're kind of set on our rotation, we're kind of set on the bullpen. Are we done? Like, we've still got a lot of offseason left. We're only halfway through December, but like, I don't know if there's really any more moves I feel like I need to make. I mean, if I wanted another outfielder, there's really, I mean, I guess Hayes would be good. He's definitely a good bat against lefties. He's also solid against righties. I mean, I guess it also could make sense too if we started Hayes, then Teal could catch, Caro could sit. I don't know. Do we want to go for it? Do we want to go for Hayes, or is that just not needed? Because we also can't forget that we have Braden Montgomery that could be ready to get called up. I don't know, man. I tried to spend some money, and I wanted to spend some money, and we just didn't successfully spend any money. Everybody wanted to sign elsewhere. I'm gonna at least add Austin Hayes, and I think I'm also gonna add a reliever, maybe like a Hunter Harvey here, because like we could send down Leisure. This would be a big upgrade over Leisure to get Hunter Harvey, and then we still have even more relief pitcher depth. I mean, it could be between Sir Anthony or Hunter Harvey. I think I like Harvey a little bit more just since he has that B potential and he's an overall higher. So yeah, let's do this. Let's see how motivated each of those two guys are, and it might round things out nicely if we are able to sign them. All right, nothing popped up during the week, although now there's a trade, and our division once again is getting even better. The Twins brought in Lawrence Butler. All right, Hayes is actually very motivated, 69% motivation to sign with us. Hunter Harvey's looking pretty decent too. So I'm going to go ahead and put in offers on both these guys. I actually think I'm going to bump up Hunter Harvey to 3 years because like he's young. He's only 31. That makes sense. I'm gonna knock the money down. Does it bug anybody else you can't go exactly to the round numbers? I gotta give him 6.01. I can't just give him 6. But we'll give him this offer, 3 years, $6 million a year. See if he accepts that over the course of this next week. And then Austin Hayes, I mean, he is only 30, so he's even younger than Harvey, but 2 years feels justified here just because we know we have Braden Montgomery, Boone O'Rourke. You know, we don't need Hayes to be a long-term guy. So we'll just offer him his exact offer, his exact demand here. 2 years, 12.2 a year, 69% motivation. We'll see if that is nice enough for him. Hunter Harvey contract decision. He didn't sign anywhere else. He just didn't want to sign with us yet. He should get even more motivated after a week. Austin Hayes contract decision. He signs. All right, that might be good because I was looking through our roster. I was like, all right, we've got a good team to take on a right-handed starter, and Bo Bichette goes to the Pirates. But yeah, as I was looking up and down this lineup against righties, it's like we have the ratings here to take on a right-handed pitcher. We got a lot of power, especially. But against lefties, you know, that's a lot of lefties starting against lefties and not as good of ratings. So definitely adding in Austin Hayes as a bat, that might be a good move. 27 home runs too. I forgot to even show you what he did last year, but 30 doubles, 27 homers, 770 OPS. I might go in and add a secondary position of right. I feel like that's within reason. Well, apparently I'm just noticing here Corey Lee's out of options because I tried to send him down just to get things organized. It said we'd have to try and pass him through waivers, and I'm not sure. 72 overall catcher, would he pass through or would we lose him? That's not the biggest deal in the world, especially since we got these two signings of Ballesteros and Mitchell, and I guess technically we do have to get rid of people since we added another guy and we're up to 94 on the roster again. Do you trade Lee now? Is that what you do? You know what I also just realized too? I messed up. I meant to trade Gilbert from McMahon, and I traded Schuster by accident. I mean, Schuster was still definitely somebody I was okay with getting rid of. I was building him into different trades. But yeah, that was supposed to be Gilbert. All right, this one might be dumb, but it also might be brilliant and make a lot of sense. But with Corey Lee being out of options, we don't need Corey Lee for the future, so I'm fine trading him. We also need to make room for another player on the roster. So packaging Corey Lee with Owen White, 26 years old, C potential, 71 overall, and I remember he was rated a lot higher in our system than I assumed he would be, so that C potential must be on the high end of a C. But packaging those two together, the Mariners, probably to dump the salary, but I can take it on. We've got plenty of budget space left. I forgot to say his name, but the Mariners would trade us Luis Castillo. It's only 2 years, 21.6 mil a year, which again, it makes sense for them because they have all these starters, and by the end of the year, Castillo overall wise is probably going to be their 5th starter. It would totally make sense that they want to dump that salary. It totally makes sense for us to take it on because we have the budget. We also could use that veteran presence in our rotation. He also would be the clear ace. He'd be our opening day starter. Castillo is honestly the exact type of starting pitcher that I was hoping to sign, and I was totally okay spending that sort of money to sign somebody like this. So to spend this money to trade for him for 2 seasons, he could also, you know, potentially be a trade piece if he's good. I am totally down to make this move. I love this move. I can't tell if it feels a little unrealistic or if it feels like it makes sense, because again, like I said, it does make sense a lot from their point of view. It's also not like Castillo had an elite season last year either. But I'm going to finalize this. We're going to make this move, and we just got Luis Castillo. That should be our new highest overall in the entire organization. Yeah, 84. So that's going to send Cannon down. He'll have more time now in AAA. You know, hopefully boost those ratings because he was rough last year. But now our rotation, we've got Castillo at an 84, Vassell at an 80, then Jairo, Francis, and Thorpe all at a 77. We also have Hagen Smith, who's at a 78, who I could call up if any of these bottom 3 guys aren't performing well. Our stamina situation in the rotation also is looking really good now. Castillo with an 85, Vassell 75, Jairo 79, 85 for Francis, and then Thorpe is the low one at only 68. And then we're still hoping to maybe sign Hunter Harvey, but I'm going to put in another offer for him, basically the same thing I gave him last time. His motivation's a little bit higher now, so maybe he will sign it, but I like the 3 years, 6 mil a year. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that I need to do in this offseason. It's just, if he signs, he signs, and if not, well, if not, actually, you know what? Maybe I should still put Dominguez on there just to get a gauge on if he would want to sign with me at all or not. All right, and Hunter Harvey's decision's coming in, and he signs this time. All right, we don't even need to look at Sir Anthony. All right, well, I do have to clear up a roster spot. I was looking at trades. None of them really stood out to me as any, like, there were some, but none that were, like, really ideal. So I'm just going to cut Alexander Albertus here. He's not, I mean, he's 21 years old. He's a 55 overall. We've got a lot of infield depth above him as it is right now, so we can part ways with them. That's fine. I'm not broken up about that. And we should be pretty much done here. I mean, we've got those arbitration hearings to hear about, but other than that, I don't have any more free agency moves I want to look at. I mean, I might look through one more time just to make sure, but like as it stands right now, our starting pitcher depth is really good. You know, in the minors right now, we have Hagen Smith, we have Cannon, Davis Martin, Sean Burke, Noah Schultz, Grant Taylor, still Tyler Gilbert. Relief pitcher depth, I mean, all those guys technically could come up and be relievers. We also have Baroa, Logan Evans, Jordan Leisure, Cam Boozer, Perales. So yeah, just, I mean, looking all through one more time, I really don't think there is a need for any more free agent stuff. I did click on free agents though, and Willie Castro wants to sign with the Tigers apparently, because everyone wants to come to the Central. And of course, I let things ride. And the biggest free agent, the number one ranked free agent in the entire offseason, I forgot about him since he took so long to sign. He's also coming into the division. So Kyle Tucker, Vlad Jr., both coming into the division. Framber also signs. He goes to the Cardinals on a 1-year deal. Oh, and I was looking at our division signings. The Twins also sign Eloy, 1 year, $11.9 million. So they got Vlad, Eloy, and JT. Royals got Kyle Tucker, and they also traded for Brent Rooker. Tigers got Zach Gallen. Cleveland, I guess all they got was Lane Thomas. Okay, well, I just simulated another week, and the Tigers ended up up getting Willie Castro now too. I'm going to be very interested to see what the team rankings are. Like, are we even going to have gotten better? We've definitely made moves to get better, but it almost seems like marginally better. You know what I mean? Like, are we going to have enough to go up a couple of ranks, or are we just going to go up from like 30 to 29? Still not really doing anything here for the rest of the offseason. We're just waiting until these arbitration hearings. I guess this is the first one. This one is for Bobby Dahlbeck. So let's see. They sided with Dahlbeck. This one's Garrett Mitchell. I didn't offer him a contract, but my arbitration offer was, I think, 2.5 million. And they side with me, which I also don't know if that's a good thing, because I think I said it way back when I was offering it to him. I don't know what his offer would be. I don't know what the reasonable offer is. So like, there could be a chance that the number I put in was 2.5. He might have only put in 2. So obviously they're going to side with me. And then this last one would be Vargas. I think my offer to him was $1 million, and they sided with me. That one seems fair, at least. So we are pretty much done with the offseason. We're just going to, it's the last day for the big board, but we're done there. We're just going to sim until we get officially into spring training. And here we are. Spring training is on us. And as of now, I know this changes after spring training because of, like, you know, the whole 40-man roster being on the spring training roster. But right now, we're the 25th ranked team. We also are 12th in contact, 19th in power, our 2 biggest strengths of the 5 tools. But that is where the offseason is going to come to an end. This is going to be an interesting edit, how long this video turns out to be. But signings, we signed Nick Gordon, Austin Hayes, Danny Coulombe, Hunter Harvey, Gregory Soto. I think I got them all. And then in trades, we traded for Luis Castillo, Bowden Francis, Jared Koenig, and Ryan McMahon. I think all things considered, I am happy with this offseason, and I'm interested to see what this turns into. Obviously, we didn't make some of the bigger moves that I wanted to make at the beginning, like Schwarber. I was trying to go after Schwarber, but what we ended up with, I think, is both a realistic, but also like we were plenty active. We made some bigger moves at the top end of our system, you know, getting McMahon, getting Castillo, signing Hayes. So next time out will be on opening day. I'm going to sim through spring training. I'll probably touch on it at the start of the episode if there's anything noteworthy. But then, yeah, like I said last episode, this season, year 2, 2026, I want to play it how I originally wanted to play it, which means playing a fair amount of 9-inning games. It'll probably be about 2-ish a month. So I'm going to need to bring back some consistency, because we also want to leave enough time to then do the whole long-term thing after this one season. But yeah, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Also, I don't bring it up much, but if you guys want to follow me on Twitter too, that's in the description. It's the same name as this channel. I only bring it up because after the Luis Robert trade, I've actually been a little bit more active there than I normally am. So if you want to hear some of my takes on the real life White Sox, some of the moves they make, that might be the spot to do it, especially if I'm being more active there. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time for opening day.